Hello and good evening, and welcome to the Tuesday edition of The Shed. Hashtag Irish Blues Matthew, me, Trevor. You're very welcome along to the show. Um, I had a very busy weekend. I was up in the Steelers watch party, which I'll talk about in a little bit. Um, I had a very exciting Sunday, an enjoyable Sunday, and met a few friends. We're also going to talk about the games that are over the weekend, review a few of them, and talk about them, and a little bit of information that has come out from different games. And also talk about the Bills and the Ravens, which didn't go so well. But you have them in football, in all sports. You have good days and bad days, and you have to deal with the bad days and get on and enjoy the good days. So that's my video for tonight. So I'll start with the games. We'll go through them and how did my picks go. It wasn't too bad this week. I had 9 right and 7 wrong, which is a lot better than last week. So it's a step forward. The competition is going well. I've done up the scores for the week. One person got 13 and one person got 12 out of 16, so that's excellent. So it's a very high standard. The tables I will release tomorrow to the people that are in it. They'll see how they're going on and next week's fixtures as well. But we'll start with last Thursday night's game. Now, it was the Dallas Cowboys at the New York Giants, and the Cowboys won 20 points to 15. I had the Cowboys tipped. They're not two exciting teams, but I just thought they're better than the Giants, and they've proven to be. But from what I'm gathering, I think Daniel Jones is in bother, and I think his position is in bother. Now, I didn't see a lot of this game. I just seen a few quick highlights from it because, as I said, the weekend was pretty busy, so I haven't really had the same in-depth watching the games and picking things up as I would on other weeks, just the way it's gone. But I guess I have enough information to get me going. The Cowboys got the job done, so they've moved on with a victory. And Brian Dable and Daniel Jones and the New York Giants are in trouble. And he's a guy now that I think is really under pressure as a head coach. Like a few others as well that are going to feel the hot seat. I'll be talking about them in a little while. But the Cowboys got the win, and Jerry Jones and co might be a little bit happier going forward. Then the next game was the New Orleans Saints at the Atlanta Falcons. Now, the Falcons won it in a thriller. I had picked the Falcons, but it was a very hard call at the time because Jerry Carr and the Saints were going so well, but they are now 2-2, and the Falcons are 2-2 as well. But we would expect a bit more from them. But they got the victory. Kirk Cousins and co got the job done, and they had left it late. It was, but they got the win. Then we had the Cincinnati Bengals at the Carolina Panthers. I picked the Bengals in this, and the Bengals won 34-24. Andy Dalton played well. Joe Burrow had a good game, but I think Cincinnati's defense need to tighten up a lot more. They're still very open. They had a bad week the week before against the Commanders. And, the Panthers, I'm not been smart. They're the whipping boys this year, or will be for most of the year. Now, they're not going to get as much of a whipping as they were with Bryce Young. And I just hope Bryce can improve from that and learn from it. But I don't expect them to win many games. I think they'll be down there near the bottom, with up for the first picks next year again. But the Bengals got to win, and they're 1-3, and they're moving on. Los Angeles Rams at the Bears. I got this one wrong. I picked the Rams to win, but Caleb Williams has finally shown his teeth. The Bears won 24-18, and um, I was kind of surprised because the first few weeks Caleb didn't look the best, and but he got the victory. They're 2-2 now, so like they're you know doing all right. The Rams, I thought they'd push on. Now I know they're missing players, but um, I still thought that they'd have a bit too much for the Bears, especially after beating the 49ers the week before. But then well done Chicago and Caleb Williams and co. Then this game was a cracker. The Minnesota Vikings at the Green Bay Packers. I picked the Packers last week, but I didn't know who was going to be quarterback. I would have preferred it to be Malik Willis. Um, he had won 2 games. He had played very well. Now I know Jordan Love is their big paid quarterback and is their starting quarterback, but this first half where Jordan Love got away, and it was a lot of the reason why the Vikings got the win because they did have an exceptional comeback, but the Vikings had got so much of a lead they were ahead. They were never going to get caught. and it finished 31-29. Sam Darnold and the Minnesota Vikings are 4-0 going to London next week. So fair play to him. They're a team now you really, really have to look at as especially playoff contenders, and anything can happen once they get there. The Packers, you know, they can't take many more beatings now. They have to, steady the ship and continue on if they're going to challenge for to get to the playoffs and challenge for a Super Bowl. Then we had another man in the hot seat, Doug Peterson's Jacksonville Jaguars against the Houston Texans. Now the Houston Texans left this late, but CJ Stroud apparently, what I've seen and read, played very well. They won 24-20. I picked the Texans in that game, but you know, Doug now is in a lot of bother. They were hammered by us, and then in a divisional game, they controlled it on the scoreboard for a long time, but the Texans came out good in the end and got the victory. Then we had the game I was at, and I'm going to give the score and a prediction, but I'll talk about it afterwards. Was the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Indianapolis Colts. Now, I did pick the Colts. I'm sorry, Pittsburgh fans. I just fancied them. I know the Pittsburgh defense was awesome leading up to it. TJ Watt was looking for a sack to make his 100. He's at 99 and a half. But uh, before the game started, I fancied Anthony Richardson, Michael Pittman Jr., Taylor, just to be too much because they can sling the ball around and they have a running back that can break through. Now, in saying that, Justin Fields had an exceptional game. He had one or two little hiccups, but he was brilliant and he carried the Steelers because the Steelers should have been bet out the gate at one point, then got back into it and then should have won it. And then back came the Colts and got it pushed away again. And at the end, the Steelers had the possession, had the chance to get the victory. But I have to give credit to the Colts defense. They absolutely shut down the Steelers so much during the game. And the Steelers defense actually didn't turn up. As it happened in the game, Anthony Richardson did get injured. Joe Flacco came in for him. He played very well. The damage was done, in my opinion, in the first quarter and leading into halftime. It was 17-3 at halftime. I just think there was too much to get the Steelers back in the game. But it was very enjoyable. And as I said, I'll talk about the Steelers watch party in a few minutes. Then we had the Broncos at the Jets. Thankfully, this game wasn't on TV when we were watching the Steelers and Colts game. I picked the Jets because I thought, you know, team was supposed to be pushing on, challenging to get to the playoffs, and they lost 10-9. Now, the weather was apparently bad, but they're professional footballers. Bo Nix got the job done. The crucial play was the touchdown to Sutton, and the Jets with Aaron Rodgers, 3 field goals. That was it. That was it for the game. They go to London now, and they're under pressure because they can't really take a defeat in London. They'll fall further behind. Where the Vikings can go to London and enjoy it, and if it goes their way, good and well, and if it doesn't, they're still 4-1, worst case scenario. Where the Jets will be 2-3 if it goes wrong for them. So another game then was the Philadelphia Eagles at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I picked the Eagles to win this, and I was wrong. Very wrong. The Buccaneers won 33-16. Now, I should have thought about it more because I heard a stat the last day that's frightening and will make me think twice about picking the Eagles again for a while. The Eagles in the last 13 games are 3 wins and 10 losses. And it's not about the current Eagles team, it's about that part. 3 wins out of 13. And you're going, this is a team in a lot of people's eyes have the best offense in football and will be challenging for the honours come the end of the year. And maybe they will. But they went to a Tampa Bay team against Detroit. Baker Mayfield, now fair play to them, they got the win, was hammered. Against the Denver Broncos last week, which they got well bet in Tampa, Baker Mayfield was hammered. And you were going, right, this Eagles defense, if it means business, should be able to get to Baker Mayfield and slow him down. But no, Baker Mayfield a very good win. Really pushed on, made the Eagles' defense look pathetic. The Eagles' offense looks pathetic. Jalen Hurts looks like nothing like the man that went to the Super Bowl 2 years ago. And he has the weapons all around him, and it didn't work. And fair play to Tampa, they got a 33-16 win. But Nick Sirianni, no more than Doug Peterson, no more than Brian Dable, are in bother. Very, very much in bother. Now, another surprise was Washington Commanders at the Arizona Cardinals. I picked the Cardinals. I didn't think there'd be a lot in it because both have young quarterbacks, but Kyler Murray had the experience. Marvin Harrison Jr. was playing well. Their offense was playing well. And I thought they should be just too much for the Commanders, who did have a great win at Cincinnati last Monday night. But Jalen Daniels and Terry McLaurin and co had different of opinion, and they won 42-14, and they blew the Cardinals out the door. And fair play to them. Then we go to the New England Patriots at the San Francisco 49ers. And I picked the 49ers. The 49ers won 30-13. There wasn't anything too exciting about this other than a good win for the 49ers, but they did have George Kittle back and he caught a great touchdown. Brock Purdy was able to play. Deebo Samuel was back. So they're getting their pieces back. And again, their defense was awesome and, just pushed and crushed the Patriots offense. And it was a good win for them, and they're getting back on track again now. Christian McCaffrey, an update on him. Apparently, he has Achilles tendonitis in both legs. So it's a very serious issue he's dealing with. I think now, if they get him back, even in the next 3 or 4 weeks, they'll do well. Because if you don't want anything to happen to him. Then we go to the next game was the Kansas City Chiefs at the Los Angeles Chargers. I picked the Chiefs in this. The Chiefs won 17 points to 10. Now, when I talk about our game in a minute, I'll explain why, if I was a Chiefs fan, I'd be kind of happy. They're 4-0. They haven't got out of second gear. I don't know if there's a second gear, a third gear, fourth gear, fifth gear, but they haven't got out of it. Rashee Rice got injured at the weekend. It meant more play for Travis Kelce, and Travis Kelce became the Chiefs' all-time lead in reception at the weekend with 917. So he is now the record receptions for the Chiefs. Will this work going forward when they meet the teams that are seriously going to challenge them? I don't know. And how long will Rashee Rice be out for? I don't know either. But where we had the perfect game almost against the Jaguars, and that was kind of scary for me inside, even though I don't want to say it. The Chiefs haven't got to there yet. So they're ticking along nicely and they're ticking the boxes. And the Chargers kind of bossed this game for a long time. Mahomes threw interceptions. Like, it wasn't the perfect game, but yet they came out with a victory. And Justin Herbert and the Chargers, they had their chance to pin them, bury them, and say, like, we're going to come here and we're going to challenge you. But the Chiefs just pushed them aside, and they won 17-10. Well done. Then we had the Cleveland Browns at the Las Vegas Raiders, sorry. And I picked the Raiders in this. They were missing Devontae Adams, who I was reading today reportedly is they're open to trade him if someone wants him. And they were without Max Crosby, who was injured. And I thought, well, I had picked the Raiders to win, and thankfully they did. But I was going, maybe they were in bother. But their defense stood up and got at uh, Deshaun Watson. Now, Mary Cooper didn't help things, which that was past him, hit him perfectly, and he bounced off his chest and went for an interception. And then he also had a touchdown, which wasn't his fault, flagged from a holding by the offensive line. So he had, I don't know, it was a 50, 60-yard run and touchdown scored, but it just didn't happen. And the Browns are in a bit of bother. Kevin Stefanski will be under pressure. I don't think they'll put up with much more of that either. There's another head coach that, could be walking the tightrope, even though I think he's in a worse position than the other three. As for the Raiders, Antonio Pierce got his win. He'll have hopefully Max Crosby back soon. I think they need to sort out Devontae Adams because if he's going to pay him. But if he's not, get rid of him because he's not going to have things there in the story. Now we come to our game. So I picked the Bills because I'm not going to pick against the Bills. I don't care. I'm a Bills man. And we lost 35-10. I knew we were in bother when Derrick Henry scored that 87-yard rushing touchdown on their first play. I just knew it. Fairness to Derrick Henry, he was awesome. He ran for 199 yards. He had one rushing touchdown. His attempts was 24, so they gave him enough out of the ball, and he averaged 8.29 yards per rush. So we struggled to stop him. He also had three receptions for 10 yards and also had a receiving touchdown. Then you go Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson passing yards wasn't huge, 156, but he passed for two touchdowns, no interceptions. But he also had 54 rushing yards and he had a rushing touchdown, and his average was 9 yards per rush. So again, we struggled to stop that. Then Justice Hill also, he's a running back, but he had a receiving touchdown. And then you go, right, well, what about us? Well, Josh Allen didn't do anything wrong. Josh Allen passed for 180. He rushed for 21. He had no touchdowns, but he had no interceptions. So, you know, James Cook rushed for 39 yards, where Derrick Henry scored rushed for 199. So you can see the difference there. Receiving, Cahill Shakir received for 62 yards out of four attempts and an average of 15 yards per attempt. And you go, and Cahill Shakir is our top guy. And you go, like, we did well there. Played well. He had more rushing yards than theirs. So, we're not off the pace. Josh Allen had an unbelievable play, a 52-yard pass to Cahill Shakir from the sideline, and we tried things. Now, there was a goofy play that they did that Joe Brady's come out and said was wrong. Sean McDermott has come out and said it was wrong. That could have led to an injury to Josh Allen. Yeah, maybe it was wrong. You're going to try these things, and if it worked, everyone would be pretty going right in the whole lot. I'm upset that you lose. I'm a competitive person, but I also understand no team is going 17 and 0 in the regular season. You know, it's only been done a handful of times, and only one team has ever gone the full season undefeated. That's the Miami Dolphins. So you take the losses and we learn from them. And I would rather us learn from this loss. And if we play Baltimore, I'm not looking too far ahead to playoffs or anything like that. But if we play Baltimore in the playoffs, we learn how to stop Lamar Jackson from this game. We learn how to stop Derrick Henry in this game. And if we can shut them two down and open up our offense, then we'll take tea with them. But if we can't, that will happen again. So we have to learn. I'm always a believer you learn from your mistakes in football, in sport, in life, in everything. Whatever mistakes you make, learn from them so they don't happen again. And hopefully we learn from this. The last two games was the Tennessee Titans at the Miami Dolphins. The Titans, I picked the Dolphins because I didn't think they'd lose to Will Levis, and Will Levis hammered them. The Titans won 31-12. Another man that will feel pressure is Mike McDaniel. Um, like he has all that offensive talent. I know they're without Tua, but you should be still able to have someone to throw the ball to them boys and let them, run at teams. And they also have brilliant running backs in HN and Mozart. So I don't know what's going on with the Dolphins, but I think their season's over now, and I could be wrong, but I hope I'm not. And the last game was a brilliant game between Seattle Seahawks and the Detroit Lions. I picked the Lions in this. The Lions won 42-29. Two of the outstanding plays was Amon Ra St. Brown's catch for the touchdown, which is two toes just in. And then Amon Ra St. Brown threw to Jared Goff. for a receiving touchdown for Goff, and it was just complete play. It was a brilliant game. Detroit Lions look like they're a team that's going to really press and push against teams this year, and I'm happy as one can be that's not a fan of theirs for them because they've been in the doldrums and they haven't won anything more than ourselves for years. So um, fair play to them, let them at it. Just as long as if we beat them in the Super Bowl, we beat them. But other than that, I'd be happy for them. So that was the picks for the weekend and the games and how they went. Um, Again, disappointed with the Bills, but these things happen. It's sport. You enjoy it. It wasn't a great weekend for a lot of the fans. I was at the Pittsburgh party. It was absolutely brilliant. Um, so we went in. Now, I have to say this firstly, that I stayed at the Croke Park Hotel, and a nicer place I've never stayed in. The staff was welcoming and always with a smile. No matter where you meet them, they'd say hello and how are you? And that to me means everything. And it cost nothing. And it was brilliant. The room was perfect. The food was perfect. I enjoyed my stay. It was brilliant. Went across into Croke Park for the watch party. And I have a few memories from it. And Mark Hogan was very nice to send me a green towel there last year. Well, I got my own terrible towel this year at the party. They were handing them out. So I had the green one, so I went for the yellow. To went to a collection of helmets. So I got the Steelers helmet just as a bit of memory for being there. I had to wear the Steelers cap to get Jimmy English in the picture. So that was the cap that I went ahead with. And last but not least, this is my memory to go into the shed. So I don't know how well you can see that or not. I have it up on social media. So I was lucky to meet Steely, the Pittsburgh Steelers mascot, who was very friendly to my Josh Allen jersey. Um, he was brilliant. I also had the pleasure of getting pictures with uh, Jimmy English and Stephen Twist. That's how he's known as Twist on social media. Um, then I met Mark Hogan and Michael McQuaid, two friends that I've had on the show, as well as Jimmy. And again, pleasure to talk to. And Adam Byrne, he sat with me at the game. I want to say hello, Adam. It was very nice to meet you there. You're a sound chap. Good talking to you. Great football knowledge. He's a Steelers fan. I'm sorry the loss for him, and it was for many others. But it was great to meet him, and it was a great day out. And it's something, 800 people at it. And I've seen a lot of different jerseys there. There was Jets jerseys, Vikings jerseys. There was a Seahawks jersey opposite me. So it was nice to see the different and everyone able to get on and enjoy it. And it was very enjoyable and it was brilliant. Anyone that can go next year if it's on, please do because it's worth going, supporting it. The NFL will be watching this. And they'll hopefully in the next year or 2 years there'll be a game there, and more than likely it'll be a Steelers game in Croke Park because Croke Park was ready for it. I've never in that park before, the premium level of the Hogan stand, and it was a lovely view. It's a lovely place. The staff are very welcoming. Um, they'll have a chat with you, which is brilliant. You don't feel awkward or out of place or whatever. They'll talk to you and have a laugh at you, and have a bit of banter. And that's what you want. So all in all, it was a brilliant uh, Sunday Sunday evening and very enjoyable. As I said, the only thing that was wrong with it from a Steelers' point of view was the scoreline. The second half was very exciting. First half was a bit dull, but once the crowd got going in there and the Steelers started to play, it was very, very enjoyable. I wish there was a Bills one sometime. But that's for down the road. But for a neutral going there as a non-Steelers fan, but open to supporting them for the game. It was very enjoyable and recommended. So anyway, folks, that is my video for tonight. I have talked through the week 4 games gone by, told you about the Steelers party, and talked about the Bills and the Ravens. On Thursday night's video, I look forward to next weekend's games. Hopefully in the next, maybe Thursday night, if not, hopefully next Tuesday, I'll have a bit of news to announce. Um, but I want to have everything dotted and crossed before I announce it because it is huge and something that will be very much looked forward to. But until then, I can say nothing as of now. I have everything fully finished and fully dotted and crossed. But until Thursday night, folks, I want to thank you very much for watching. Please stay safe, stay happy, have a wonderful couple of days, and I'll talk to you on Thursday night. And as always, my friends,